All right, guys, welcome in. I'm very excited to show this to you guys today, but basically we're going to be talking about how to be able to integrate multi-channel nurturing, not only for the voice AI, but also for your SMSs and your emails. And I usually do this with GoHighLevel. However, today I want to show you guys how to even do this with only Synthflow and the Synthflow workflows. So as you guys already know, I work hand in hand with Synthflow, and they are amazing people. And essentially they want to develop everything that makes your life easier. And this is one of those things that will definitely increase the amount of efficiency that you will have for every campaign going out from Synthflow using voice AI, Twilio, obviously whatever email software you're using. If it's your own Gmail account, you're gonna be able to do it using the Synthflow workflows. I will show you guys everything. Picture a simple roadmap. Essentially, you're going to be able to have anything from your Twilio and your email account connected onto the Synthflow workflows. And then with that connection, you're essentially going to be able to send out these SMSs, these emails, and these calls, more importantly, right? So that way you're not leaving anybody in the dust. Everybody will be contacted in almost any way possible. So with that being said, I look forward to doing this right now. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to go over to your workflow section on the left side here. Then you're going to go over to create flow. You're going to use presets, and I've actually created two presets here for you guys to be able to do this. However, we're only going to be using the second one. Let's go ahead and click on create here. Now, essentially what this is going to do is it's going to give you guys a complete outline of what can happen after the call itself. So essentially, as you guys already know from the past videos that I've created, you guys are able to include an inbound webhook. So you're going to add a webhook to your assistant, and from that webhook, it will send it over to this workflow right here. Now, in this workflow, which will be received by every single call, so as soon as a call is sent out, you'll be receiving something in this workflow. What happens here is you guys are going to be able to find the rows, update the rows, right? If you're using Google Sheets, of course, you could update them in any way how. However, the most important part of this video would be taking place down over here in the reached voicemail section. Now, of course, we don't really want to be SMSing or emailing anybody that answered the call and actually had a conversation with the assistant. We want to reach out to those who haven't had a conversation with the assistant or haven't shown any interest in any way how. And here is how you're going to be able to do that. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go over to this first call here. And as you can see, I'm going to move and shrink this. What you're going to do is you're going to add a Twilio account in here. All right. Now, once you're able to add your Twilio account, this is what it's going to look like. And essentially in here, you're just going to click on send SMS. Now, of course, in here, you're going to be able to select a connection. So you're going to go ahead and create your connection by adding a connection name. So as you guys know, in your Twilio, you're going to have an SID and auth token. So you're going to go ahead and add those here. Once you connect your Twilio account, then you're going to go ahead and select what phone number you're going to be sending this message from. Then, of course, you're going to add the message body. So it can be anything like, hey, call me back when you get the chance. And then, of course, you're going to add a to number, which you're then going to connect from the trigger of a call. So I'm going to show you guys right now how to be able to connect that trigger from the call itself. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go to the trigger, and you're going to want to copy this right here. Once you copy it, then you're going to click on test trigger. All right. After that, you're going to go over to your agent, whatever, if it's inbound or outbound, you're going to go to your agent, and then you're going to select deployment. In deployment, you're then going to paste this right here and then click initialize. After you do that, you can go back over to the workflow that you have. And here you will see that you got the sample data right here. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is scroll back down over to the send SMS step. And once you're in the send SMS step, you're going to add that to, you're going to go over to body, then lead, then phone number. And then once you're in phone number, now you're going to be sending that text message directly to that phone number every single time. So whenever you have somebody actually call you back, you can have an inbound assistant set in place, and it's going to call that inbound assistant, and then essentially it's going to go through the entire process that you have it set up to do, whatever it is. Now, there's no need to test it. Let's go ahead and now set up the emails. So the first thing you want to do for setting up the emails is you're going to go over here to Gmail. You're going to click on send email. By the way, there's other accounts here that you can use. There should be an Outlook. There should be something else. Essentially, you're going to set up the connection. So let's go ahead and do that. You're going to want to accept these and then click on continue. And in here, as you can see, now it is connected. Then, of course, this is the to email. So who are you going to be sending this out to? You could have an info extractor of somebody's email, which can be in the executed actions, of course. But in this case, let's just pretend that it is this one right over here. Just keep in mind that you are going to have a specific info extractor that will say what is the user's email, right? Which you can set up relatively easily in the actions tab. And right here, we're going to go ahead and add that specific info extractor here. Let's see if we have a template for it already created. If not, oh good, we'll make one. So we'll click on here. We're going to go to open question. And then in here, we're going to click on email. And then we're going to do what is the user's email. Save that. And once you do this, essentially, if you go back down, you are going to be able to see, if I go over here and I click on email, executed actions, email, you're going to see that now it actually comes up with a email value, right? So that is what the to is going to be set up as. Then of course you can add a subject line. Hey, you missed my call. And then of course you're going to come up with a body. Hey, I called you earlier. Mind returning the call? You can. Fairly simple. And from here on out, of course, you are going to be able to understand or iterate, right? However many times you want to SMS or email somebody. Now I'm going to explain what the workflow in this section actually does. Now, of course, tied up to your Google Sheets, you're going to have a way to identify the first, second, third, and fourth call. Now, of course, I'm going to leave that sheet down in the descriptions below so that way you guys are going to be able to see how specifically that's going to work. But of course, there's going to be a section that is specifically going to check that call outcome. All right. It's going to check for hang up on voicemail, no answer, busy, failed, right? And this is all from the status of the call that you're sending out from Synthflow itself and you're receiving in this workflow. Now, of course, how do we create these follow-ups so that way we can actually nurture? So as you can see, whenever we do the first call with the assistant, it's going to go down this path every single time. Let's pretend right now that you have an assistant that made its initial call, and then from that initial call, it sent the information over to this workflow. Of course, it's going to land in the first call column. That means that if the assistant made that call and the person didn't answer the call, it is going to send them that SMS and that email. Now, in the second call, let's say they reached voicemail again, because keep in mind down here, we're going to delay for a specific amount of time, and then we're going to call them again, which means it's then going to go back into this workflow once more, and it's going to be identified as a second call. Here is where you are going to identify, hey, do I want to send them an SMS this time, or do I want to send them an email this time? Now, I personally just want to duplicate this, and I want to send them another SMS, right? They called you again, but it seems like you're busy. When do you have a chance to talk? And let's say in the third time that this happens, I want to go ahead and send them an email, right? And then you could select whatever you want to say during that last email. But however, imagine in the fourth time, I just want to go ahead and do the same exact thing that I did in the first time. I want to send them an email and an SMS. So this is how you are going to be able to nurture somebody, not only with just voice AI, but also with SMS and emails for each and every single call that you are sending out. Now, keep in mind, they're not going to be getting these over and over again. After the fourth call, I have it set up so the automation just stops. All right. So use this at your discretion. Of course, you are going to have all these capabilities. You can get very creative with this. You can send people Facebook DMs, whatever it is. There's HTTP requests that you can make inside of Synthflow, however you guys would like, but use this wisely. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and get you guys going with some cool and awesome features that I have actually created for you guys. As you guys already know, I have a personal community that is specifically for you guys, and I'm not trying to sell you anything at all inside of that community. It is completely free. I know you hear this from everybody else. It's kind of similar, but it's actually true. It's completely free. In there, you guys are going to be able to have GoHighLevel snapshots. You guys are going to be able to have Synthflow snapshots. And not only that, I give you guys 2 entirely free courses that you guys can easily get started with voice AI if you're looking to learn a little bit more about voice AI. Not only that, there's over 500 people in the community. And on top of that, you guys are going to be able to have access to me as well as my implementation team. So do keep in mind that there's a lot of value that you guys are going to be able to have in there. Just use it wisely, and I will be waiting for you guys inside. Peace out.